Consumers are offered a choice of 5 gasoline engines and 2 turbo diesel engines, see table. If desired, you can find a car equipped with any of these units. Note that many of them are borrowed from their predecessor, since operating experience has proven their high reliability. According to the specialists of the branded service station, the motor resource of the engines is about 500,000 kilometers. In principle, no serious problems with Avensis engines have been noted, unless in 1.6-liter units after a run of 150 to 200,000 kilometers. Increased oil consumption is possible due to wear on the valve stem seals. You will have to spend money mainly on regular maintenance of the motors. Difficulties will be added by the inconvenient placement of the fuel filter, which requires special tools to replace. Every 100,000 kilometers, this service life is set only for original parts. You need to change the timing belt, tension roller, and also check and adjust the thermal clearances of the valves. The work will pull 540 UAH. You will have to pay extra for adjusting washers separately. One washer costs 13 to 20 UAH. Do not be surprised that on a modern car you still have to adjust the valves, a similar feature, for example, Honda units have. First of all, this is done to improve the reliability of such engines. It is also worth noting that a broken timing belt in Avensis engines is not fatal. Structurally, the pistons cannot meet the valves, although this car also uses more modern engines. So, in 2000, they began to install a new 1.6-liter unit, 3ZZ-FE, which is equipped with the proprietary variable valve timing system VVTi. Thanks to her, the engine demonstrates efficiency and sufficiently high power, similar to that developed by the 1.8-liter engine, which, in fact, was replaced by the 3ZZ-FE. More often in Ukraine, cars equipped with manual gearboxes are operated, although automatic ones are not uncommon. The specialists of the branded service station also had to repair the mechanics. The bearings of the primary and secondary shafts mostly failed. Moreover, this is mainly the fault of the owners who use low-quality oil or ignore its replacement. According to factory recommendations, this procedure has to be performed every 50,000 kilometers. Therefore, when buying a used car, it is advisable to take a test drive and listen to how the gearbox works. Increased noise is a reason to doubt the serviceability of the bearings. The hydraulic clutch usually does not create problems. Automatic, with proper operation and timely maintenance, is quite reliable. An oil change along with the filter and a crankcase gasket is made every 40 to 60,000 kilometers. In order to avoid problems, service workers advise to carry out a qualified diagnosis of an automatic transmission at a service station before buying a car. The service costs about 400 UAH. One of the disadvantages of the English-Japanese is the updated design of the power steering rack. Unlike the assembly used on its predecessor, has become non-separable. Therefore, if the oil seals fail, the entire rail will have to be replaced. The cost of work is 324 UAH. It is also impossible to change the rack bushing, which breaks over time when driving on our roads. Although experts assure that with an unpleasant knock created by a worn knot, you can ride for a long time. Tie rods nourish an average of 50 to 60,000 kilometers. Work, 486 UAH, and spare parts, 490 UAH, one thrust. The Avensis independent suspension is energy efficient and holds the car well even in tight corners. This is facilitated by anti-roll bars installed front and rear. By the way, to reduce vibrations, the suspension is assembled on subframes, which are attached to the body with the help of special pillows. The stabilizer bushings serve the least, about 50,000 kilometers, work, 81 UAH. Spare parts, 160 UAH. 42 PCS. Ball bearings walk for a very long time, as, indeed, silent blocks of the front levers. As a rule, the latter are changed not because they are worn out, but because of the aging of rubber. They become covered with cracks. And these parts are not cheap, because they come with levers. The bushings of the rear longitudinal rods, change along with the rods, serve 120 to 150,000 kilometers, work, 81 UAH per piece, and spare parts, 885 UAH per piece. Although more often they have to be changed due to the carelessness of the owners, who simply bend the traction when passing obstacles. Tie rod bushings are even more durable. Please note that the wheel alignment angles in Avensis need to be adjusted not only on the front axle, but also on the rear, work, about 130 UAH. The brake system works without problems. Experts note that when replacing the pads, it is imperative to service the mechanisms. In disc, clean and lubricate the guides, otherwise they begin to wedge, which leads to uneven wear of the pads. Yes, and inserting pads into a dirty caliper is problematic. Drum mechanisms also need to be cleaned. The signal for this will be the vibration that occurs during braking due to the uneven fit of the pad to the drum. By the way, it is in versions with drums that replacing wheel bearings is more expensive than in disc bearings, since they are supplied complete with the hub. A part is about 430 UAH. In general, Toyota Avensis occupies a worthy place in its class, although this car has not managed to overshadow the famous predecessor Carina E, which has become the epitome of Japanese reliability. Buying Avensis can be recommended to people who are looking for a modern and comfortable family car and who are able not only to shell out a considerable amount for its purchase, but also ready to financially provide for its expensive maintenance.